What do you want to do?
Okay. Hi, I'm Hope.
Probably need your notes. We're a little nervous today.
Just turn on.
Yeah, is it?
Just use the.
Just use this gun? Okay.
Okay.
Here.
Hello, I'm Mooney95 from the Moonchase blog.
So, we're part of Moonchase, a Sailor Moon news blog. We're like the world's biggest English Sailor Moon news blog that there is. We keep you guys updated with almost everything we possibly can. We're currently available right now at moon-chase.blogspot.com, but soon we're going to be moving to moon-chase.com, so keep an eye on our site. We'll announce when it's done. Our site's in development, and I showed him yesterday. It looks really good, but we're not quite ready yet, so yeah, we're kind of excited about that. So we're going to start with like an intro to what our blog is, a little bit about the new video game that was released in Italy, our Operation Moonrise campaign and the manga, and the latest updates from the creator, Naoko Takeuchi. So, if at any time you guys have any questions about anything we're asking, raise one hand, because 2 hands will be for the video game later, and we will come get to you. And at the end of our presentation, we will definitely have a question and answer period. So, just out of curiosity, how many of you guys have heard of our site? Yay, a few people. Okay. Well, you guys will all check it out later. I know you will. Okay, so for fans who don't know about Moonchase, we're your source for just about everything that's happening in the Sailor Moon world. From the actors of the anime, English and Japanese, to PGSM, which was the live-action version that came out from 2003 to 2004, and Sailor Mew, which is the musicals. How many of you guys know about the musicals? Yeah. So, and also sightings in pop culture, because the really cool thing about Sailor Moon is that it was such a huge pop culture phenomenon. Like, it's influenced almost everything, and there's all these really neat little tidbits that pop up in the news. So we like to bring that to you from Japan. We translate it and put it on our blog for you guys. So we bring you anything else that we can find that's of interest to you that's related to Sailor Moon from all over the world. So I used to cover almost everything on the site, but now that I'm in a phase of my life where other things have to come first, I mainly just deal with translations, press releases, and anything that's related to the revival and pop culture around the world. I also keep in contact with representatives at Toei Animation, Kodansha, and occasionally Funimation, so I can make sure that everything we're posting on our site is accurate. And also, there's a lot of rumors that fly around, and they know me pretty well. I usually fire them off an email and say, hey, I heard this, can you guys tell me if this is true or not? And usually within a few days I'll know. And if it's quick, I'll know I have to do something about it fast. I also know a really big chunk of the English cast members, which, how many of you watched the TV show when it was on the air?
Oh God, yes.
So you all know, yes. I know a big chunk of the cast of the English cartoon, as well as one member of PGSM, and so I usually bring the blog exclusives from them whenever I can. Okay, and so I'll give it to Shane now.
I've been a member of Moonchase since about November 2009, and my primary role with the writing staff has been covering some of the PGSM and the Sailor Mew voice actress updates. Well, not voice actress, but rather the actor updates for those 2 respective areas of the Sailor Moon fandom. And I've also occasionally written some articles on some of the Sailor Moon sightings, as well as some anime and manga release information for a few other properties that we cover.
So yeah, our blog started up in 2007 on March the 8th, so yeah, we just passed our 4-year anniversary, so I'm kind of excited about that. Okay, so I myself have been a fan of Sailor Moon since day one, which was August 28, 1995. I don't know why I remember that date, but I do, because that was the first day that it aired in North America, in Canada, on YTV. I'm sure many of you were very young at that time. So, though I've seen the anime, some of the musicals, and the PGSM, as well as I've read the manga, I think the anime and the manga have to be my favorites. I also used to be a writer for Sailor Sailors. How many of you guys remember them? No one. Sailor Sailors was like the huge, big campaign, but was like worldwide reaching, and I was the alone Canadian member with them, and I did learn a lot from them, but Moonchase is my own, and I make it completely different from them, so don't get us confused and call us Sailor Sailors 2.0, because that we're not. So yeah, but I started this up in 2007 because I missed being able to write about Sailor Moon regularly and bring you guys all the really interesting stuff that I was reading. So the site was basically started so that I could, with a lot of my friends here, me and Shane and lots of other people, could bring you everything that we could to keep up the fandom.
Well, I don't remember the exact moment that I became a Sailor Moon fan, but just through random channel surfing about October 1995, I did find the show on YTV. At first, I thought the show had a unique visual look, especially with the way the characters looked and how the animation was. However, it was ultimately the story that made me a fan of Sailor Moon. There was always, when you watched the show and then you were finished the episode, you were always left wondering what would happen next. So there was that draw to it that just made you want to tune in and find that next episode. So probably by the next year, my sister and I were doing lots of homework and trying to find lots of places online to buy anime VHS tapes online and manga purchases. And there were quite a few instances where we had to make mad dashes to the bank and try to get these US money orders drawn up so we could send them off to California to buy a volume of manga. So definitely trying to be an anime fan in the 1990s was a lot harder than it was today, but it did ultimately signify that I was in this for good, and that pretty much leads me to where I am right now as a writer for the Moonchase blog.
Okay, so we're gonna do something fun now. Could everybody in the room please close their eyes for a moment? How many of you guys think this has something to do with Sailor Moon? Be honest. Everything you know about the series. Not a whole lot, right? What about ladybugs, evil flowers, and turtles? Any hands up for that? Okay. I'm sorry to say, but that is the Sailor Moon video game that was released for the Nintendo DS last March. I know, you guys are all like, what? What is this? Yes. So it's called Sailor Moon La Luna Splenda. I have the cover here if anybody wants to take a quick peek at it. La Luna Splenda translates to the moon shines in English, and it was a video game for the Nintendo DS that was released exclusively in Italy last March. This is the first new video game in around a decade that has been released for Sailor Moon, and the first one that was released outside of Japan also. So, I mean, this is pretty much a big groundbreaker in that sense, although the game isn't very good. So we have links to our site for where fans can order this game and ship it to North America. There are two retailers that I know of. One is Amazon Italy. They are a little bit cheaper, but I believe their shipping options are a lot, and the cheaper ones will take a long time to get here. The other one is a company called bol.it, and that's actually where I ordered my game. It was a lot pricier, but I got it here pretty quick. Almost, yeah, the day it was released in stores too. So almost every fan that we've read any account from or talked with has also been so very disappointed with this game. So it took me about 30 hours to beat this game, and I beat it within about the span of a week after being so frustrated with it. I just wanted it to be over. There was a lot of hype that was built around this game, and many had so many high expectations since a lot of the merchandise that's come out of Italy has looked so good. So have any of you guys seen any of the new merchandise at all, pictures? Yeah, so what did you think of them?
Well, I see the pictures. It looks way too pixely. The dolls look good though.
The dolls, yeah. Have you seen the figures?
Yeah.
What do you think of those?
They look really good.
Yeah, it's just unfortunately they cost way too much to bring over here, so this game was also a small fortune. But so as for the game itself, I'll tell you a little bit about the gameplay. So you don't use the touch screen at all. It's pretty much this game could have survived alone on a GBA. Like that's how easy it is to play. The only part you actually use the touchscreen for is for a special mode. As you play through the levels, you pick up treasure chests, and with those treasure chests, you can actually unlock different features, and you just basically make pictures and you touch. It almost reminds me of like how Cooking Mama, how at the end when you get your dish or whatever, you can decorate it. That's kind of what this mode is. So, yeah, it really, I was very disappointed with that. And the gameplay itself is pretty much a 2D scroller. You basically have to sit around and solve puzzles with rocks, bombs, and sword platforms. And all you have to use are the D-pad, and A attack and B jumps, but you can't attack and jump at the same time. The character also moves a little bit too slow, making some of the puzzles in this game really hard to swallow, or really hard to solve because if you're moving too slow, then you're probably going to get blown up and die. So out All the puzzles in this game, I think there must be like 50 or 60. There was one that I absolutely could not solve, and I had spent something like 2 hours on it, so